This is a response to VenomFangX's latest video attacking Thunderf00t and co.
Don't you guys believe that there's no such thing as God? So, therefore, there's no purpose to life.
Indeed, there is no purpose to life as laid out by the invisible Super Daddy in the 667th subdimension of the universe. Life and its purpose are entirely placed in our hands.
Like 100 years from now, nothing that we ever did, or said, or even believed is going to matter.
Physically, we cease to exist, yes, but the memory of us will be passed on to our children, if in fact we deserve to be remembered at all. To be remembered for anything, you need to have actually done something with your life, rather than to be a burden, or, worst, a liability to life. That is our legacy.
Because once we die, we simply cease to exist. That's pretty encouraging, right?
Actually, yes it is. If any non-religious scientist or atheist wants to make their mark on this world, they will need to work at it. If they don't, there is no safety net of going to heaven to save us from the oblivion of nothingness that will follow our deaths. This gives us extra purpose and extra drive to make the world that we bequeath to our children a brighter and better place, because we know heaven is a place on earth, and we need to work at it to ensure that this is so and remains so.
And I'm not going to waste my time arguing about the Bible or arguing about the creation. That's stupid, because I would be secure in knowing that it doesn't really matter one way or the other what anybody believes about anything.
Wow, this is actually quite insightful, but a tad hypocritical since you have spent the time. You are arguing and you are wasting your time. So since you have taken the indulgence in partaking in such forbidden pleasures, I feel it only fair that the atheists are allowed a taste of these too. And now onto the meat and potatoes of this video.
Dear Thunderf00t, it is quite flattering that you've spent so much of your time here on YouTube in an attempt to defame my character.
Being a British person, and more accurately English person, that bastardisation of an accent is quite alarming. If you were to ever come to the UK and attempt such a puerile accent in front of anyone, you would, at best, set people's wanker alerts off, or, at worst, taken the piss out of. You are doing no one any favours by trying to parody Thunderf00t's accent in such a way, and from the outset demonstrates your hypocrisy in so-called respect, which you blatantly disregard in each video. It is abundantly clear now that you do not possess one iota of respect for anyone else other than yourself. Daddy Hovind will be so proud.
On top of that, you've inspired within your militant followers a hatred that can only be described as a mirror image of Nazi Germany.
How delightful! Scientists can be some of the most obstinate people when it comes to rebellion and conspiracy. It was once noted that to gather all scientists is like herding cats, but even with a direct attack on science, there is not a unified way to deal with such an irritation such as yourself. As such, it would be very difficult to herd scientists into doing much of anything at all. Conspiracy my arse.
On top of that, you've inspired within your militant followers a hatred that can only be described as a mirror image of Nazi Germany.
From the outset of the video, I predicted that you would liken science, or Thunderf00t, or any of those, to Nazi Germany, Hitler, or any derivation. It only took 2 minutes and 34 seconds to fulfill Godwin's law, and yet the consequence is still the same. You've lost, VenomFang. You've failed. Game over, man.
Your worldview says that each moment is fleeting, never to be obtained again, which makes every moment more precious than all the riches in all of the universe. Because once this life expires, you never again will have the opportunity to see the beauty of the color spectrum. You will never again see the light of day. You will never again taste the wonders of sweets, or good salty steak, or the embrace of love.
You, VenomFang, have bastardized the teachings of Jesus, and like many creationalists before you, you are taking the relatively benign presence on YouTube as a whole new level. Jesus would be spinning in his grave at the path of darkness you have undertaken. Christianity should be able to stand on its own merits as being self-evident to its followers, and for a lot of people, including some scientists, this is the case. But you have found it necessary to fall and seek inroads into evil. You are becoming more evil by the second. Not only are you censoring the so-called evil that is being presented on your channels, but any and all responses that are against your own are also being censored, despite it being both courteous and respectful. But you have now chosen to follow the path of illegality. You are now, VenomFangX, a criminal. Not a romanticized martyr of a criminal, a pure, disgusting criminal. This latest video could have been an act of contrition, but instead you have chosen to martyr yourself for your cause. But before you do that, remember, whilst your sweet, sound, pert buttocks might not be spending time with a 6'6", 300-pound black man called Bubba, your acts and consequences could have serious consequences for your family. Social evolution, in this case, the law, can now be more likely to hurt your family rather than yourself. I think a hefty financial fine for perjury would be quite sweet justice indeed. Does your family agree with this?
You wouldn't spend any time obsessively and psychotically pursuing an antagonistic agenda against me.
There are people on this world that act more Jesus-like than you could ever achieve, Venom. Thunderf00t, in attempting to neutralize the venomous lies, is willing to sacrifice part of his life on this planet to save others from the dangerous and evil path you have now taken. That should show to all the type of character Thunderf00t is. Jesus, who supposedly sacrificed his very being to save humankind, is showing the same consideration for the freedoms and views of others that you seek to usurp, destroy and censor. Thunderf00t is willing to take on both time, financial consequences and social consequences to your attack in order to protect the freedom he and many others hold so dear. A scientist, an atheist, out-Christianing a Christian, that is quite ironic, I think.
Now, Thunderf00t, you've also requested that I remove my account for a year because you claim that somehow I have impeded on your rights.
Indeed, you have, VenomFang. You have performed an illegal act. A false DMCA claim to censor something is not impeding your rights. It is you performing an illegal act. An illegal act requires justice. Would you claim arresting a murderer is impeaching on the murderer's rights? No. Would you claim a paedophile molesting the tight buttocks of an 8-year-old being put in prison is an impeachment of their rights? Of course not. Naturally, I'm not likening your crime to any of those, because it isn't. But I am pointing out, Venom, that you are now a criminal, and criminals deserve to have justice meted out to them. Thunderf00t, like Jesus would have done, has offered you an olive branch, a way out to escape the mess that is to follow, and like the fool that you are, you have thrown this back into his face, calling his bluff. You are foolish beyond belief.
At the same time, you are an advocate of free speech, and yet you have no intention of allowing me to speak freely. I find this quite hypocritical again.
Have you not heard a word of what Thunderf00t said? He was happy for you to carry on with your creationalist stuff, because he found them useful for his own videos, and he didn't want you gone. However, when you cross the line of legality, that is when justice was triggered. It isn't you being denied rights. This isn't hypocrisy. It is you being punished for your crime. Get it correct. You retain all of your ownership rights in your user submissions, but you are required to grant limited license rights to YouTube and with other website users. These are described in paragraph 10 of these terms. to each user of the website a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to access your user submissions through the website and use, reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works of, display, and perform any such user submissions to the extent permitted by the functionality of the website under these terms. This means, Venom, that any video you put on YouTube whatsoever, so long as it's not violating the copyrights of other third parties, or free game for any other YouTube user to use as they see fit. Ignorance is no defence. Good luck. And I would like to lead everyone on a little prayer. O Lord, bless this thy legal smackdown, thou'st with it blow VenomFangX's unholy ego into tiny bits. In thy mercy. Amen.